We did this on Twitter about 2 years ago. Me and Alex and Joe, and about 3 people came. It was class.
Well, we've got 3 of us on here now. Al, do you want to try and go on your Instagram or Tom and see if you can press live? I'm just going to go on my phone and see if we can go on Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. It's popped up on my phone.
It's not on mine that I can see.
Oh, it's just popped up as well on Honest FBA, so that on the YouTube. So we do have some people. Whoever's watching, please do let us know in the comments, and just so we know it's working correctly.
Is it live on are we live on YouTube? Oh, we're live on YouTube.
Yeah. What about your Insta?
Oh, why didn't we? Let me.
I think
Insta. I can't see.
We're going to go on live.
Everyone just bear with us. This is new. This is new to us. New tech. We're trying to stream on multiple platforms at once.
Yeah.
Way beyond our station, aren't we?
So what are we going on? We're on YouTube for sure. We're going on our Instagram.
We're on Twitter as well.
On what?
We're on Twitter. You're back,
Twitter? Mate,
yeah.
We're not allowed on Twitter. Just bear with us a minute and we're checking.
If not, yeah, it says, there we go. It says connect streams.
We got Geiska, if I'm saying that right. And then we got some knobhead called Cargyle Sauce, said Gimp Sesh. Nice friendly comment out the gate. You can fuck off if you want, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to work. So maybe we leave. Maybe we have to leave Insta.
All right.
It says you'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram.
I can't see it.
Does anyone know how to stream off?
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I think it's working fine.
Is my audio breaking up? Because your guys is this. Is anyone in the chat? Have we got Gimp Sesh? I think this guy came on and Cargyle absolutely rinsed us. I think the last time we did one, it's a Gimp Sesh.
Just ready and waiting, isn't he? Professional.
If you want to come on, man, and do a session with us, then it can be a giant Gimp Sesh with you involved. Gimp Sesh, that is hilarious.
Well, I can't fucking figure it. Let's just kick off. We've got 16 people determined.
So I've just sent out an email blast to 7,000 people, so we might get a few more people joining. So why don't we just give it 5 minutes and do a bit of a general Q&A session?
Yeah. Right? Anything to do with the old Amazon FBA, even just us, if you're interested.
Well, some people might be new, right? That don't know who we. Well, I guess people might have subscribed to us, but they might have just seen Alex because he's the big dog. Did someone just post that comment?
I did that. Yeah, I'm going to be the moderator. Here we go. We want more of this, really. The banter.
There we go.
That's our own comment. We can't do that. Guys, I'm saying Geiska. It's honest_FBA on Instagram. We did have a fake the other day that I think we got removed. Someone copied us. But yeah, if you don't know who we are, because you might have seen Alex because he's the big time Charlie on YouTube. So I'm Tom. Jansen's the other one. You will see us pop up from time to time. And Alex is the one who goes after people on YouTube.
He's the face of it.
So we're going to do a bit of a mini product research masterclass in a few minutes. This is actually something that we discussed within our community last night, and it got a lot of good feedback, so we figured we'd share it out on YouTube as well. But in the meantime, if anyone watching has any general questions on Amazon or about us, like Jansen said, feel free to bang them in the comments and we can get to them.
What's your favorite food, Tom?
What do you have for your dinner?
If you 4 bites.
What would your death row meal be? Everyone in the chat, what would your death row meal be? Mine would be a 500-gram fillet steak, Argentinian beef, with some thrice cooked fries.
Thrice.
Yeah, like the ones in that pub near your house.
What sauce are we talking? What sauce?
Oh, you know what? I'm more of a mustard man with steak.
Really?
Yeah.
I've literally never heard of anyone saying that. I don't think they do it in the restaurants. Not béarnaise, peppercorn.
Yeah, béarnaise is nice. Peppercorn's nice. It depends.
Well, which
though.
one? You're about
Sometimes
to die, mate. You've got half an hour left, so you need to go on, chop.
Yeah.
Steak.
What do you think to kangaroo? I ordered some kangaroo steak today. What do you think about that?
Kangaroo steak?
Yeah.
God.
Big time, that, isn't it? Australian butchers down the road.
We got silver balls is going to be very easy to cater for on death row. Just some cereal, please.
Childhood cereals. Wow.
What's childhood cereal though? We talking like Cocoa Pops or?
I was a Weetabix man.
I think we got 27 watching now. It's picking up.
27. Well, we just sent an email out, so
someone asked actually if we can watch this back. Yeah, you probably can. It'll just be on YouTube, right? We'll leave it up.
Yeah, it'll just get posted to the tube. Yeah, ostrich steak. Oh, that's
ostrich
haram.
steak is it's banging. It's banging. Can't get that. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Super lean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough as old boots, though, isn't it? Because of that.
This is what people came for, isn't it? What we eat. I was 4 bites into my dinner when this got when this went live. So I'm going to finish off some chicken and sweet potato after this, which I'm looking forward to being.
What's up, NP? Welcome.
NP came via the email. Nice one.
Came via the email.
Just as a little bit of a show of hands, if who's watching at the moment, can you let us know if you're selling on Amazon or just interested in selling on Amazon? Just write the word selling or write the word interested.
I will load up that box also. Miss American Pie.
Here we go. I've sorted it on Insta. Right, if you go on it now, Al.
Yep.
It should say something like, oh, there we go. Go live. I've just done it. Oi, we're on Insta now. Bloody hell.
Wow, look at that.
Oh,
notification.
We've done it. And it's just popped up on my thing.
Oh, it's not popped up on mine.
Is that because you logged in though, is Honest FBA?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that'll be why. Look at the comments here then. We've got people that are selling but interested in selling more. Always silver balls. That's always a good thing to do. Interested, selling, OA. OA. Jack, mate. Come on.
We've got some big names joining in the Insta, by the way. We've got Andy G. We've got Mike, Sumray, Sally, some big names joining.
Very nice. Jack, by the way, now OA is a good business model. We do like OA. It's a good one to build up some cash, and then a lot of people in Honest FBA have come from that OA background, and then they jumped into private label, and they always learn really quickly actually because you understand Amazon already. So yeah, good. I'm glad you're here. Oh, we got our first actual question. Do we want to hit that?
Yeah. Well, should we get ready? Yeah, do a couple of questions, then Alex can kind of do his masterpiece.
Yeah. So question wise, so Jordan Lee Smith said, "Hey guys, also selling pet supplies market in the UK. Have you guys come across any issues with dogs having a bad reaction to any of your products? If so, have you handled this?" We have not. We have a pet brand. It's not actually for dogs. Some of our products, so we haven't had that issue, and we haven't had any issues with any injuries or death, I believe, of any of the pets that we've catered for.
No. I mean, it depends what you want to do. Like, if from a customer service perspective, then it's probably good to do as much as you can for that individual customer. But if it's like a repeat thing, then obviously you might need to pull the product. You should always have liability insurance as well.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of an echo.
Yeah, sorry, that was me. I was watching us on Instagram. My bad. Just trying to boost the numbers.
What is the most limiting belief when it comes to product research? I would probably say just the fear of it going wrong. I think is that a limiting belief? Or
is it not? Is it not that you need to find the perfect product, right?
Perfect
That's the most
product,
limiting.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Yeah.
Well, just not acceptance of any form of risk, isn't it? Really, every business has got some risk, and if you go into product research thinking you're going to find something that's 100%,
yeah,
you're going to be looking forever.
Yeah. So
We'll touch on that, by the way. Silver balls. We'll touch on that in a minute, by the way, in terms of the ways to get past it. And then just with product research, like the guy said, you're never going to get bang on 10 out of 10, but you can make a 7 out of 10 opportunity at the start into a kind of 9 or 10 out of 10 long term if you do the right thing and build a brand around it.
So
right, a few more comments. Should we hit them before Alex starts?
Yeah. When would you write a product off and say, okay, let's continue with the next one? I found that to be a big pitfall, chasing a product.
Where are you seeing that? I'll just
Sorry.
Where are you reading that? I'll just put it on the screen.
Silver balls comment.
What?
There we go.
Look at that. Yeah. Second one. When would you write a product off and say, okay, let's continue with it? Silver balls, do you mean a product that you've launched or a product that you are in the research phase with?
Jordan Lee also replied about his he said he hasn't killed a dog yet, basically, but he's worried that one day he might have a negative reaction or worse. Just don't use dodgy suppliers, Jordan. Like, just make sure your suppliers are good and you're testing your products properly, and then I'm sure you won't kill any dogs, and you can make a lot of money.
Hey, fingers crossed, eh?
Silver balls. I'm still not a new launch.
I think they mean a new. Yeah. Is this a product that you've launched that hasn't gone well and you want to?
Okay. I mean, you can really see within the first 3 to 4 weeks with the data that you're getting. There's always a chance that you can turn it around. Perhaps you need some reviews. Perhaps you need to drop your price and try and rank organically. But generally speaking, within the first 3 to 4 weeks, from looking at your data, from looking at your organic ranks, your conversion rate, obviously your sales as well, you should be able to get a pretty good indication of whether or not it's gone well.
Just a question on Insta. Someone said, "Lol, should I switch from OA to private label if I have the capital?"
I mean, it depends. Do you want to get rich?
You want to join the money club?
The problem with OA, right, is, I mean, there's many problems with it.
How long have you got?
I'm kidding. OA is great if you just want to start a business online, but
build capital, yeah.
If you've got low capital, it's a great business model to get into. But the problem with it is you don't have an asset that you can sell. So, like, we've just had somebody in the community sell a brand for just under 6 figures. So it's not like fuck you sort of money, but it's good cash, and he wouldn't have been able to do that with his online arbitrage business, or if he had one. So, and also I think there's this idea that you can just get into OA and then quickly move over to private label, but like you're gonna get trapped in the OA world. You're gonna be sellotaping boxes in your mum's kitchen. It's I just think you're better off starting with something that's got a better upside.
I think it's a good intro, isn't it, to Amazon FBA as well, just kind of getting to grips with how it works. But there's so many skills that you don't learn with private label, with arbitrage, that you do with private label, like advertising, branding, doing your listing. Like, it's just the skill set you get with private label is kind of a lot more well-rounded that you can kind of use to build other businesses. Anyway, so you like your response there. You said, "Hell yes, I want to get rich and fast." Private label, welcome.
Chance, there's a good question here. I don't know how you highlight these. The one from Al Sadiki's asked a good question.
Yeah, you just have to click it.
It won't work.
There we go.
So, do you think it's better to focus on creating a brand or just try to sell a lot of different products in the beginning? Good question.
I'll probably go into this a little bit in the presentation. I think when you're a beginner, honestly, probably just focus on getting a product live. I think it's good to be thinking about the brand that can come out of your first product. But if that stops you from getting a product live and you're overthinking it, then I think you should just focus on getting a product live, getting to market. Like between the three of us, none of the products we first launched are the products that we now sell under our main brands. And almost nobody that I know, it's the first product is the one that leads to their brand. So, if you're a beginner and you're just looking to get started and you've got a small budget, I wouldn't really worry too much about the long-term brand. I would focus on learning the process, developing skills, and getting a product live on Amazon and just seeing it sell, and that'll help you so much in the long term, just doing that.
Yeah,
my dog's just eating something.
This is a good question. I think, to be honest, we'll probably touch on this. This person has a few products that do well at a lower price point. When doing product research for more, should they go to a price bracket above or stick to the current? We're big advocates of the higher price point, aren't we, as opposed to super cheap?
It's the same process you go through, right? Like bringing a product to market. If it's a $15 product or a $50 product, it's all the same process. So if you have the capital, why not shoot for a higher revenue product, a higher margin product? It makes sense. So if you're killing it at your current level and the economics are good, then of course, keep stacking them. But
yeah, one thing that I've kind of picked up on from having cheaper items is that your advertising costs and your fulfillment costs, they make up a bigger proportion of your kind of sales proceeds when you're selling cheap products. So you've not got much flexibility. If your advertising costs suddenly spike, you're going to make a very quick loss. Whereas if you're selling a $50 product, that FBA fee is going to be quite a small percentage. So it's also to do with risk as well.
Good. Another good question. If you see Jansen, Jordan Lee's question, just 2 above that one.
Jordan. Oh, sorry. There we go. Jordan Lee.
Yeah. So what are the best tips for expanding your new product line within a niche you're already serving well? It's a super basic thing to look at is if you look at the frequently bought together and to see if there's any other brands that are kind of eating your lunch and people are adding their products when they're buying yours. That's like a really kind of low hanging fruit option. And then just look around the whole niche in general. Product research gets a hell of a lot easier once you have a kind of quote unquote brand. Once you know your avatar you're going for, you always want to have a pipeline, right? So in our brand, for example, we have 10 to 20 products at any one time in a pipeline, and then we're going to bring those through and identify which one the best opportunities are. We're going to be sourcing for those and kind of planning for those at all times, and then you can regularly releasing products and kind of expanding within your sub niche.
Do you want to do a few more, or should we crack on with the press and then we can do some Q&A at the end?
Yeah, let's do the presentation.
There's one you got to highlight, Jansen, before we dive in.
I knew you'd say that.
Abdul said the best thing yet. Just joined. Just want to say, love you guys, and I am learning so much from y'all. Best gold star, best question yet.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Let's get into the value because Joe Wicks has just gone live. We don't want to lose any viewers.
Bloody hell! Shit. Right, let's get into it. Right, product research masterclass. Let's do it. Hang on, my slide didn't work. There we go. Right, so I want you guys to kind of reframe the way that you're thinking about product research, right? When you watch all these nonsense videos on any other channel apart from Honest FBA, of course, you're going to see people say things like, you need to find a winning product. And it gives you this idea that you've got to, go on this trail where you need to get lucky and stumble across a product. And in reality, it's not really what you're doing. You are creating products. So shifting your mindset away from thinking that I've got to find a product and it's this, hunt to that you've got to create one is going to help you tons when you're doing your product research. So a bit of an example, bottled water. This is, I think, from Costco. I think Kirkland is Costco, but we've all seen bottled water, right? For so many years, bottled water was just exactly the same. It's pretty much 2 brands like Coca-Cola and something else that own them all. They all look the same. You go in the shop, you don't really give a shit. It's just water in a plastic bottle. And that was up until this brand came along. So this brand is doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue now. They've taken the same product and they've presented it in a different way. They've made an incredible brand name that really stands out. It just looks insanely different than everything else. So a lot of people think this is like an alcoholic beverage when they first see it. They've taken an existing product, which is spring water, and they've created a brand around it that stands out in a crowded market. You couldn't really get a more saturated niche than bottled water. And then we've got good old water bottles themselves. So, you know, these kind of like screw top metal water bottles, historically really boring until the brand called Chili's came around. So if you Google Chili's now, I think they're doing $90 to $100 million a year. They realized that people didn't really want these boring water bottles on the left, right? You know, when you go out on your day-to-day, when you're commuting to work, whatever, people like to have things that look good, they're aesthetic, they make them feel good. They think that people look at them and think, oh, that's cool. And Chili's absolutely killed it by taking an existing product, putting a twist on it, and creating something new. So they didn't find their product, they created their product. The next one is baby wipes. You might have some of these in your bathroom. Obviously, if you've got a kid, you've probably used these before. They all look the same, similar brand names, similar packaging. Oh, until Dude Wipes came along. So Dude Wipes, again, I think is doing over $200 million a year. This is the same product, but packaged in a different way. They know who their demographic is. Their demographic is dudes. I think they try and now claim that they also sell to women, but we know no women are buying these. So they catered all of the marketing, all of the messaging around men, and they've taken the same product, but they put a twist in it, and they've created something different. Another really great example, if any of you work out, you've probably at some point taken creatine. Creatine is a little bit of a pain in the ass to take, right? You've got to mix it with water, you've got whatever. It's just not very convenient. It's not very, you know, on a day-to-day basis, it can be a bit annoying to take it. What's absolutely exploded over the past couple of years is brands like this. So these guys have turned creatine powder into creatine gummies. So they've looked at the pain points of what people taking creatine, you know, are experiencing, and they've created a convenient version of the same product. So instead of having to mix it with water and do all of that nonsense, you can take these to work. You can, you know, just have one in the morning, have one in the afternoon. It's super, super convenient. So all of these are examples of brands that have created products. And that's one of the big things that I see with beginners where they go wrong is they think they've got to find products and they're not thinking in a creative way. Now, obviously, all of these are big brands, but you can still do this on a small scale. So almost any product can be sold on Amazon if you're creative enough. So to keep it very simple, to have success on Amazon, you've got to find existing demand. You've got to find where people are already looking for products. You've got to make sure that that niche fits your budget. And then you've got to do something to stand out, whether that's changing the product, changing the branding, an incredible brand name, whatever it is. You've got to do something to stand out. So I showed this to a couple of people and they couldn't work it out as well as I was hoping. So I'm going to explain it straight off the bat. When we're talking about changing products and customizing products, the key thing that you need to remember is the higher the level of competition, the more you need to differentiate your product. If you think about a niche like phone cases is one of the most competitive niches on Amazon. So if you really want to stand out in that niche, you're going to have to do a ton of differentiation. If you're selling something that's perhaps lower competition, where the listings are not very good, you know, people don't have tens of thousands of reviews, perhaps you don't really need to do much differentiation in order to have success. Perhaps you can launch a simple product with a great listing and you will do well. But this is one thing that you need to be thinking of when you're doing your research. If the niche is mega competitive, you're going to have to do a lot of differentiation. You're going to have to do things like what Liquid Death did. You know, they did a lot of differentiation with their branding because they exist in a market that's incredibly competitive. The next point to this is about your budget. The higher the level of competition, the more budget you're going to need. Now, everybody knows about the Chinese sellers on Amazon. Everybody knows that Chinese sellers absolutely kill it in every single niche. They dominate most niches. The reason that they can do that is because they've got the budget and they know how to come in and brute force their way into any Amazon niche. So you can also do this. If you've got a decent budget, you can go into a smaller niche and you can be the big dog. You know, you can be the big fish in a small pond. So you don't always have to go after these huge niches. You can find a small niche and you can leverage your budget in those smaller niches. So to keep it simple, is there enough demand and does it fit your budget? And can you stand out? And then if you've ticked both of those boxes where the demand fits your budget and you can think of ways to stand out with your product, then you check the economics. If you're getting a good minimum ROI, so we like to aim for at least 50 to 60% net ROI. So that's after we've paid all of our PPC, after we've done all of our advertising, after we've, you know, returns and everything. Then these are the three main boxes that you really need to tick. If you are struggling and you're going round and round and round, buy the Honest FBA course. We're going to teach you how to do everything. I'm just kidding. But you should if you're struggling, because our community is incredible. If you're struggling, pick a niche. Pick a small niche. Don't try and go into phone cases. Look at the UK. Look at Canada. Look at Spain. Look at some of these, you know, smaller markets where the competition isn't as fierce. Source a good product that's got good economics, make a killer listing, and do a proper launch. The Honest FBA way. Go and watch the product launch video that I did about 12 months ago. These are the key things that you need to be focusing on. Don't overcomplicate it and enjoy yourself. Oh, that's not the last slide. So this goes back to the point somebody asked at the beginning about, does that product need to be the one that turns into a brand? No, it doesn't. Because if you've not even launched a product on Amazon yet, you're in year one of your journey, probably, unless you've been doing it for a few years, and then you should probably just give up if you haven't done it after a few years. But if you're in your first year, if you're in your first few months of doing it, you've got to zoom out and realize that this is going to be a long journey. So that first product that you launch, it doesn't need to be the one that makes you rich. Focus on learning, focus on developing the skills, getting a product live, and just focus on taking action. John Honest FBA. Thanks for viewing. I'm kidding. It's not just a plug for the course.
Tell you what, one fella who's not joining the course is Cargyle. Absolute hater. Hater central he is.
No, was he slagging me off?
He said that no one should start private label according to Cargyle. Then why are you watching this video, mate? You're watching a private label training video and you have no intention of...
You know what he is? Do you know, as he's typing that, he's sellotaping up a box in his mum's front room because he's still doing OA.
We had some good questions come in prior to the presentation, actually, but one that was quite good from Jordan Lee again.
Do we just want to address this comment here? Sorry, I've just been literally talking to myself for about 3 minutes on mute. We don't disagree with this point here, do we? About 5K plus. That is what you need. Like, if you've got $1,000, $2,000, then
go and do away.
Yeah, definitely.
Stick to away.
For sure.
Because you're right. You're just not going to be able to do a good listing. You're not going to be able to order a decent amount of units, and you're going to fail, like you said.
And also the failure rate is high because so many people, they buy shitty courses or they try and do it themselves, and that's why they fail. But there's tons of success stories out there. We've got them on the channel. Go and watch our recent videos. We got an interview with a guy called Ben Perry. He did just short of $500,000 in December. We've got a video that I did recently on Tom. He did $200,000 in his first 30 days.
One coming out this
week.
Hang
on a minute, because you failed.
Cargyle failed.
Because
so no
he failed. Hang on a minute. I failed my driving test once. That means nobody should learn to drive.
I like that.
What an absolute mug.
Lee, appreciate that, mate. Nice. Lee's put a nice comment in. Love the content, lads. Yeah, look, to recap their point, of course, don't start it with a tiny budget. We're not promoting that at all. And don't, if you're on your last kind of bit of money, don't put a course on your credit card. Don't put stock on your credit card. This isn't a final swing. You should be investing money into a business, into education that you can afford to take a risk with. But the idea is you mitigate those risks by learning how to do things properly, follow the fundamentals properly. Jansen, question. I don't know how to highlight it still. If you can highlight it.
Which
Jordan
one, mate?
Lee's question.
Oh,
Jordan
we've
Lee's
banned
question.
Jordan Lee, yeah.
9:15.
We've also got people in Insta asking questions, but it doesn't come up on the thing. So just keep. I'm not ignoring you guys, but if you do have questions, let us know. Jordan Lee.
So Jordan Lee, any tips for ordering from China just after Chinese New Year, which is happening now? So is it better to wait to order until March or April time after the initial rush, or best to get an order in as soon as possible, aka the end of Feb? So Jordan, if I can call you Jordan, not Jordan Lee, but Jordan, basically when they close, we were in China earlier in 2023 we went. And what happens is there's a lot of seasonal work in China. So Chinese New Year is their only real proper holiday, right? They get a good bit of time off. What tends to happen is a lot of the seasonal workers will then return home to their villages, basically in the countryside, and a lot of them won't come back to the factory. So the risk after Chinese New Year is, number one, there's been a massive build-up where people have been waiting to order, so there's a bit of a backlog. And number two, you get a load of new staff there that need training. So you can order just after Chinese New Year, but more than ever, it's so important that you should always be getting inspections anyway, but especially after Chinese New Year, just to check that the standards haven't dropped at all and that everything's being made up to your kind of specifications. So just bear that in mind, and you should be okay. If it's a supplier that you trust and you've got a good relationship with, then just be honest with them and say you need to check it thoroughly, like a more thorough test than ever. Stephen Booth's question.
Boothy.
Is there an Alibaba equivalent for UK suppliers, or would you just
I don't think the market's big enough really, is it? I mean, if there was some sort of platform, there's one called it's Thompson, isn't it? That's across Europe.
Thomas Net in the USA.
I don't think this is for the UK. This is more for the US, though. This is a good one for the US.
It would depend on your product, Stephen. I mean, if you're still there, type in the comments what kind of niche you're in. If it's like a consumable, then of course you can go in the UK. If it's a supplement or something like that, or consumable like food, then of course you can do it in the UK. But in terms of actual production in the UK, there's not much manufacturing that happens there. So I'd be curious to know what niche it's for.
Do you prefer that view or that view?
Oh, yeah, the other one. This one's a bit too close on Tom's face.
We've got Lucas asking if we should set up other sales channels before launching on Amazon. I would say always focus on Amazon because you're marketing to a warm audience, people ready to buy. So the conversion is going to be so much higher. If it's not a success on Amazon, then it's going to be unlikely it'll be a success on other sites unless it's like a brand new product on Kickstarter or something. So I'd always say stick with Amazon first. Where do you get your listing photos done?
Many options these days, Matt. There's a website we actually have been using called Sooner if you're in the US. Really, really good value. I think we have a discount link somewhere. We'll try and find it and post it below this video. But really impressed with them. You're looking at like from like $40 a photo for a studio shot. They're like a tech startup, so they're very good at upselling, and the onboarding is amazing. And you actually join the shoot live. So you join it. You can either go in person or you can join virtually, and you can you work with the photographer. They speak to you live. You can direct it, and they'll give you about 100 shots, and you can pick the ones you want, and you can purchase them. So that they're really good. If you're in the UK, there's plenty of options. It honestly depends on your budget, and it depends on the kind of the kind of product you have. We are big proponents of not skimping here. One of the ways you can stand out these days against, for example, Chinese sellers, they tend to still not be very good at branding. So branding is somewhere where you can really get an advantage over them. So we'd advise paying good money and doing it properly.
Just have a quick flick through on Insta. We've got Ben, my G, who said made 10K on Amazon thanks to Jansen's teachings. Would definitely recommend these guys. Thank you, mate. We've got another user, I think it was Kieran, saying, do you guys sell on the UK or US? Both.
Both.
Yeah. So we've got experience in both, sold in Europe as well. A lot of people kind of think I want to sell in America because it's bigger and it's therefore going to allow me to make more profit. But we say launch in the marketplace that suits your budget. What I was just saying earlier, there's no point launching in a niche that's like the massage gun niche where units are selling $1 million a month if you've only got $2,000, because it's just never going to be a success. So decide the marketplace based on your budget as well as your location if you want to sell closer to home. What else?
Anthony's got his first shoot with Suna coming up in a few days. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, man. You'll be I interested to hear back to us with how it went, because
Are you going to do the live? Sorry, Tom.
That was it.
I was going to say he's going to do the live one because you can join in live, can't you?
Yeah. I think you kind of have to basically, but you can actually. When we did it, they said, "Do you want to come along and be a model?" And I was like, I mean, I can see why you asked me.
A hand model.
But yeah, so no, the service is amazing. I'm super impressed. They're like a VC-backed kind of tech startup, but they are really good.
Another one here. Can you sell while brand registry is in process? Yep. But you won't have A+ content and sponsored brands and all that good stuff.
But if you're doing it in the US and I believe in India, funnily enough, I don't think you can do this in the UK yet. As soon as you apply for brand registry, as soon as you apply for a trademark, you can submit that number with brand registry in the US, and you're going to get access to brand registry pretty much within like 2 weeks. So you don't actually need the trademark to have brand registry.
I think somebody asked the question, why do you not recommend selling products under £10? We didn't answer that, did we?
No, we didn't. Go ahead.
It just gets very, very difficult with your Amazon fees, with your PPC. It gets very, very difficult to make money. And people think that if you've only got a small budget, you should sell cheap products. But if you find a product that's £100, maybe you only need to sell 3 of them a day or 4 of them a day. So it's a bit of a misconception that a lot of beginners have. Mainly because most, videos advise look for products between $15 and $35. But I mean, we've got somebody in the community selling literally a $330 product, and he absolutely killed it. And we've got a couple of people selling products over $100. We've got products that are $50 or so. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity with this stuff that's higher ticket, and it just means that the FBA fees and it's a bit easier with the PPC and the advertising and everything.
We've got a good question for you here, Alex. How do you determine what kind of budget you need when deciding on a product?
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways to do it. The quick way is to look at the top sellers. So we like to use a bit of a rule of thumb. It's not an exact science. And there's ways that you can kind of work it out in a bit more of an more accurate way. But we like to take the median number of the top 10 sellers, because we look at the top 10 sellers and let's imagine the first one, the number one seller is doing £40,000 a month, $40,000. And then the rest of the people are doing between 10 and 20. We're probably not going to outsell number one, but we might come in somewhere in the middle. So what we do is we find that middle number, which is the median number, and we base all of our stock forecasts off that number. And that's a rough idea of how much money you're going to need. Like if you look at a niche and the top sellers are doing $100,000 a month, if you've only got $10,000, it's not really going to work. If your product goes well, you're not going to have enough money to keep that product in stock. So yeah, it's not an exact science, but that's how we roughly work it out. And then we will forecast exactly how many units we're going to need if we want to have 3 months worth of stock. Another thing that people forget is you really need to be able to afford 3 months worth of stock, because your first 2 months of selling that product, you don't really make much money. So if you run out of money in the first month, you're not really going to get any money back from Amazon to keep the product in stock and keep selling it. So you really need to have at least 2 to 3 months worth of stock to be able to buy.
Question in the IG. What's the, from Family Values, what's the difference between going into stores and scanning items versus this? Well, the main difference here is that you're consistently ordering products from the same manufacturer. You don't need to go around scanning items, which is just going to be a complete waste of time in many circumstances. I've just been in New Zealand for the past 3 months. My business in the UK, my Amazon FBA business, continued running. And every time I needed to reorder stock, I just did it on my phone, just emailed my supplier and said, can you send 2,000 units and whatnot? If I was doing arbitrage, that business would have
fly home every time.
What?
Flying back across to B&Q to go and scan some.
What? TK Maxx has got a deal on. I'll be over in a minute. Jesus.
Get over it.
It's just like, I mean, we never like to describe private label as passive because it isn't, but it's definitely a lot more passive than arbitrage. And like, you're building a consistent income stream, which is eventually going to turn into an asset that you can sell.
But look, with RA, like as they called it, like, look, if you've got, like I said before, if you have a small budget and you want to just learn the ropes and just get used to making some money online, you know, it's great. Of course, like if you can go to a shop, you can, if you have time to do that, awesome. This is it's not the model that we chose because we had a bit of a larger budget. But as we said earlier, anyone with a smaller budget, you want to build up some capital, start there, get used to the Amazon platform, and then when you do build up enough cash to come over to private label, you learn a lot faster because you know how the platform works and you know a bit about how to sell on Amazon already. There's a good question here, Jansen, about trade. Matt just said, how do you know?
I just want to highlight this quickly. Jansen looks tired. That's because of a 3-month-old keeping me up. And then Tom's listening. Alex running the show. I'm glad you noticed. We're going to rename the channel Alex
Story
FBA.
of my life.
We just phase out when Alex is there.
Thoughts on Kevin Pack? Oh, bloody hell. How long have you got, Matt? Does everyone want to go and make a cup of tea and come back in a couple of minutes and I'll dive into that one?
Look, I've got to have dinner after this, all right? I can't be here all night. We don't slag off other people.
You can go if you want. I'll just start talking about Kevin Pack.
It really is the Alex show.
Kevin Pack, he's just a standard Amazon guru that's got a Lamborghini. I would be lying. I think their community is okay. I think they know what they're doing on some level. I've heard. The one thing I really don't like what they do is they give you products. They'll claim that they'll find you a product, but they're just finding hundreds of cheap products and giving them out. You know, you're not really going to learn how to properly do product research. But yeah, I think
fish analogy, Al.
Yeah, teach a man to fish. Yeah, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going around about him being a scammer. That, you know, they're definitely not scammers for sure. I think, you know, they're pretty open guys. I do think they've got a successful brand. I don't particularly like the way that they do it with, you know, giving people products and stuff. And I think they exaggerate a little bit. They exaggerate about the results that you can get. And the profit margins and stuff like that, they can be a little bit misleading, but I don't think they're bad guys at all.
Just one on the Insta. What's the this is from Runcy Man. What's the biggest challenge you faced when you launched your first private label product?
That
was you. Do you want to say what it was now? Your first product?
Probably. We did a video on this. Yeah.
I've got it here somewhere.
We had a men's wallet.
Where is it?
I'm still repping this to this day.
There we go. Oh,
we had a wallet.
There it is.
We had a wallet in a.
Yeah.
Look at. Hang on. Oh shit!
Still lasting, isn't it? Still lasts the test of time.
Mate, great quality.
It's actually great wallets. Then
we had we could have been Bridge Wallet basically was what's going to happen, but we got a ban. Which we had two SKUs, which means like two different products that went live. They absolutely flew. Like we did all our research. They started selling really well. We put all of our money that we have remaining into the second inventory order, which is going to be for Q4. And then we think we got a bit of an attack by a competitor. We had a false kind of complaint. Amazon back then, this was in 2020. They used to ban first and then kind of ask questions later. Now it's a bit better. And then we were offline for 2.5 months, maybe. So we couldn't ship our inventory. I was on the phone to Amazon every day trying to get the account unbanned. By the time we got it lifted, in the end, Amazon admitted it was their error. We lost all rank. We couldn't sell the product. And then in the same time, we launched our brand in the US in a different niche. We saw the opportunity there and we doubled down there. So that was the biggest issue at the start, was literally getting banned. So there's a lot of Amazon horror stories out there. So we could have quit. There was times where I wanted to quit. It was pretty brutal, but you had to just keep going.
This one's a good one from Mark. How effective are VAs for product research? Well, we've done a video on that. Very much so, aren't they?
Yeah. The key thing with VAs and doing product research is that they don't have to do everything. So they don't have to, they're not coming up with like the creative ideas for your branding or, the customizations for the product perhaps, but they can do all of the boring work. They can do all the scrolling through Helium 10, scrolling through Amazon. They can put it all in a spreadsheet. Then you get home from work and there's 50 products for you to look at. You've got all the data, you've got all of the review data, you've got the prices. That's the most useful way. Go and watch the video I did recently on how I find 50 products a day. And I explain it all in there.
Have you seen the comment from the remark?
Yeah.
I can't say it. Do you think Seth Knipp is watching this video from his jail cell? Did he get arrested in the end? I hope he did.
I don't think he did, no.
I know the FBI were looking. For those of you that don't know what that is, we had a video go out. Was it about a year ago now? It's on Just One Dime, which were a very big Amazon, what do you call them? Amazon automation service, effectively.
Yeah.
AKA a big Amazon scam. They scammed about 45 million and did a runner. So watch the video if you haven't seen it. It's pretty.
There's only room
ridiculous.
for one redhead Amazon FBA guru. It ain't Seth Knipp.
Oh wow! I really showed my colours there, calling him Seth Knipp. I am an idiot.
Amateur. What about? Okay, this is it. This is a good one. Would you do a product if it's breaking even and the only profit is when you claim your VAT? I think the answer there is no, isn't it? It's just not scalable. What are you going to do when you actually hit that VAT threshold? Just close the business down. It's just a waste of time.
Just don't get attached. If it's your first product, it's very easy to get emotionally attached to it. You want it to work so much because you've invested so much time into it and you've got that like sunk cost fallacy. Just look at the numbers. If the numbers don't work in any business, you got to cut it off. Free up the capital, go again.
It's like when you got a girlfriend and you know that it's over, but you don't. You know what I mean? You don't want to end it, and you're just like, you got to do it. It's better for everyone.
You're about 4 years into that, Alex, aren't you? I hope I see this.
And then Gamer, how do you calculate PPC? There's no real pinpoint method to calculate what it's going to be precisely, but you can just calculate what you expect it to be based on like what everyone else is achieving. So majority of people out there that have like optimized listings, good rank position and so on, they'll have like a ACOS or total ACOS of about 12 to 15% of your sales price. So I would put that into your profit calculations and kind of use that as a longer term target. In the early days, it's going to be a lot higher than that, and you'll probably be breaking even on your first order as a result.
Your first order the point of the first order isn't to make profit. Is what we tell people. The point in that first order is to rank. You want to rank organically. You want to launch hyper aggressively. It's going to cost you money, but if you can just break even on that first order and you've budgeted properly, so you can afford to make the second order, then you start turning the screw and then you start making profit. So you want to be doing your economics with that long term, the TACOS that Jansen mentioned. So your total advertising cost of sale. Have that in mind, but realistically, you need to accept that you need to go hyper aggressive. Especially in competitive niches, you're going to need to go very aggressive with PPC at the start.
What do we think to PPC agents? Both myself, Alex, and Tom, we've all worked with agencies, and we never see good results. They just take on too many clients, especially, I mean, these ones that take 10% of your revenue, that's an absolute joke, isn't it? My advice, and our advice would be get a VA or like a freelancer to do it for you from Upwork. I'm using a guy at the moment that I found on Upwork. He's about 500 quid a month and he manages 20 products for me. No like profit share or anything like that. I just don't think it's needed, and it's like, given profit margins are quite thin anyway, it's just going to destroy anything you've got.
Yeah, I agree. I think most agencies suck, especially the big ones, the biggest ones. We've worked with them and they're just terrible.
How did we fund our first product launch? So mine was from savings. Was it the same for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, savings. I borrowed a bit of cash off my mum and dad.
Oh wow, it comes out now, does it?
Bloody
Spoil Alex.
It was like £1,000.
You could do a loan. You could do a loan, but it's risky, isn't it? Like for your very first product,
Yeah,
you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend that at all. How to launch a product properly. I've got a video on this on the YouTube channel, Hyan. It's a difficult question to answer in a couple of minutes, but yeah.
If you can see Kyle, that's a really good comment. Kyle Pugh. Not a good. This isn't good, but I'm gonna highlight it. I currently have 4 products under £10, £5,000 down. It's been an absolute failure, but it was worth it to learn from the failures. That's a great mindset, Kyle. Fair play to you.
Yeah.
But I think one of the mistakes there that you've made is the fact that it's under £10. It, like, with FBA fees increasing, and they increase pretty much every March, those margins are just going to get thinner and thinner and thinner until it's going to only be really the suppliers that can survive. Or if you're competing in a niche where some products are 10 quid and others are 20, then the people that are charging 20, they can afford to bid more on advertising, PPC. So it's just going to price you out. So hopefully you did learn from those failures.
And also as well, it's a good example there. I'm not sure how you kind of learn how to approach Amazon. And again, not to just plug Honest FBA, but like, it is one of the reasons why paying for some good education, like if you'd have showed us those products, we'd have been like, absolutely no chance, don't bother. And that's where paying for a bit of education does end up helping you out long term.
Mr. Fogg, we recognize that name. I have a product idea that could potentially take off. It will be my first product, but it will require a mold to be made. Is this a sensible route?
Ooh, Tom will be able to answer that.
If it's your first rodeo, I would say probably not.
I mean, well, yeah, I would just, sorry to interrupt there, Tom. I would say, yeah, if he was operating alone, but he's going to be doing it with our guidance, isn't he? Matt's within Honest.
Oh, Matt, sorry. I didn't see it was Matt. I didn't realize it was Matt Fogg. That Matt Fogg. Mate, if you're within Honest FBA, yeah, of course, run it by us and we can see. I think the thing with a mold is we've done it for a couple of products and it's very slow and it's quite expensive. So the answer to this question is it depends. It depends on your budget. It depends on the niche. It depends on your customization. It depends if it's a whole new product you're bringing to market or just a small improvement. We have done some products. We've just done one change to the mold, and that was pretty inexpensive. Other products we custom designed, and it took us, I think Alex covered this in a recent video, it took us something like 18 months to get it to market, and it should have been done in about 6. So
yeah, that is on the long end though, isn't it? But it does take a while. For me, I've done a few custom, and 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Right, so should we invite just the last few questions, because Tom's starving and he's got his dinner on the floor. It's getting cold and he won't bend over to eat it.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. here, mate. This is late. I know I live in Spain, but Jesus.
Hey,
Tommy,
are you in late in Spain?
Are you in some sort of like stock cupboard there? Like what? You didn't get like a sexy background. Like what? There's like an old fan just lying around. Like,
do it. I've got a load of art on this wall. I don't know why. I moved my desk from that side to this side. I didn't move the pictures over. Next time I'll get it all right.
Right. Last few questions. Come on, guys. Make it a good one.
Al Sadiqi's asking another good question. He's coming with some heat. What are your thoughts on textile products like bags? Alex loves this.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of textile products like bags is they're very quick, very cheap, very, very easy to customize. You can really lean into like the quality, the branding. And it's very easy to just make them look different quickly. It's not expensive at all. Your suppliers should be able to do it very easily. It's is good, and also they can quite often be vacuum packed, so you could save a lot of money on the shipping and stuff because you can make them very small. So yeah, I prefer stuff like that versus big bulky plastic stuff that's difficult to customize.
I'm going to save the best question till last from Andy G. What's for dinner, Tom?
Chicken and sweet potato.
Cold
Bloody
chicken
hell.
and sweet potato.
Cold chicken, cold sweet
As
potato.
boring as that room that you're in.
Right, guys. We're going to
the fans normally out of frame in my defense.
You're gonna be like, Heather, we need to get something going on in there.
Me and Alex got like high-tech offices. What have you got there?
Mate, the setup this way looks awesome. What I look at's great. Just
That's what counts for a live stream.
Yeah. Right, guys. Thank you, everyone that's watching on Insta, Twitter, YouTube. Until the next one. See you next time. Cheers, guys.
See you next time.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
guys. See ya.
See ya.